This is a quick message to remind us that some blessings are not meant to last forever. Some blessings are not meant to last forever. If we look in the book of Joshua 5 or in Deuteronomy 8, we can see the context where we're talking about the Israelites, the children of Israel, who were left wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. So, to give a little backstory to that, the children of Israel had escaped Egypt and they were on their way to the promised land. They were being led by Moses, and they had a lot of disobedience, a lot of troublesome behaviors that prevented them from going to the promised land, which was just a short distance away. But for 40 years, they were just wandering around in circles, not getting there until they got themselves together and repented and changed and so forth. And while they were there, when they first arrived, God gave them provision. He gave them manna from heaven. So that was their food. That was their food, and it was there to sustain them along their journey. But because of their disobedience and so forth, and they ended up being stuck there for 40 years, then eventually, the manna was not good enough and so forth and so on, and they asked God for other foods and etc. Now, the point that I'm making is not about manna. The point that I'm making is that their provisions that they received were a blessing. They were in the wilderness. They had escaped slavery. And so it was a blessing. But it was never supposed to become a situation where this was what they relied on. This became their permanent way of doing things. And unfortunately, we people, we do that a lot. We have things which are a quick temporary blessing. We may have been in a hard situation. We prayed, asked God for help us with this, help us with that. Maybe it may have been something like you got a new home. You needed to find a new home quick, so you found a quick place. You were praying, pleading with God, please help me. I need somewhere to go. I need a place to live. And so you got a blessing, but it was only meant to be a temporary situation, a temporary fix, a temporary starter home or whatever the case. And you ended up staying there for years and decades when it was only meant to be a starter, or just something that was to get you somewhere safe and solid while you continue pressing towards where you're going. You may have found a job. You had a terrible situation. You were without employment. You were struggling. You had a hard time and you were praying, God, I really just need something. I just need something right now. God gave you a quick job. It wasn't great. It wasn't exactly what you were looking for, but it would pay the bills. It would get you where you need to go. And you end up staying there for years and years instead of continuing to push towards the vision and the purpose that God had put into you. So what was meant to just be something to help you get by, as you continue to press towards the mark, as you continue to press towards the purpose that God gave you in the job or ministry or career or business or whatever it was, you got in there and it was doing what it needed to do. You got comfortable and you stopped. You gave up on continuing forward with what you were supposed to be doing. That is an example of a blessing that was only supposed to be temporary because it was just to bridge the gap for you to keep moving forward where you are going. And in any situation, when you receive a blessing along the way, a lot of times it's to fill a gap, to fill the void that's needed. Sometimes we might have health conditions. We have health conditions, and we need to change our, let's just say, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, something like that. And we find ourselves in an emergency because it has gotten so bad. And so what really needs to happen for the long term is that we need to change how we eat, start exercising, doing better with the way that we live. But we have this emergency. We're just saying, God, just please help get us through this right now. So God saves us. God blesses us with healing, connects us with a doctor so that we can get medication. And instead of changing and continuing to move forward to the way that we're supposed to be living, we just adjust to it. We adapt. We adapt to it and end up staying in that situation instead of continuing forward where we would be fully healed because we've changed the way we eat, we've changed the way that our active lifestyle, and now we don't have to worry about it again and end up staying on the medication and scares for long years and decades again. So yes, God blessed us to get through it, but the plan was not for us to stay stuck in that type of thing, but for us to continue moving forward. So I just want to remind you, like, don't get so comfortable with the temporary blessing, with the temporary provision, that you stop moving forward to what you know you're supposed to be doing, that you stop moving forward towards the bigger picture. It was there to help you. It was there to save you, to bail you out when you need it. And that's another situation. You had a legal situation, you got bailed out, but you stopped moving forward to bettering your life. Whatever the case is, don't stop. Don't stop moving forward towards the vision, the purpose, the goal that you know that God has placed in you. It may be, you may have gotten a blessing and it is meant to be a temporary fix. So keep it temporary and keep pushing forward to what God is leading you to. If God is leading you to start a ministry, to start a new business, then don't get so comfortable in that job that you give up on starting the business or starting the ministry. Keep pushing forward. If God saved you because you had a health crisis, don't get comfortable with the medication and just the temporary relief. Keep moving forward to get fully healed and fully well. If you had something that was just that needed to be fixed, okay, it got fixed with a temporary fix, but a temporary fix only lasts for so long. It's like using a fix-a-flat on your tire and never replacing the tire with a brand new tire. Fix-a-flat is only meant to be temporary. Yes, it was a blessing. It got you from point A to point B when you needed it. It, added pressure to your tire so you can get around, but it was never designed to be a permanent fix. And unfortunately, we too often take temporary relief and turn it into permanent solutions when it's never meant to be. So don't allow yourself to get turned into to have a permanent solution for a temporary fix.